welcome back to Change Yourself, Change the World. Here with the homie Corey and Ahmed, and we're just gonna dive right in. We were just talking about water, and we went straight into Democrats, Republicans, politics, but more about mentalities and ideologies, and why people believe the things they do. And yeah, I think the news is the biggest factor in all this. The news is literally manipulating one way or the other. Whatever we're talking about, good or bad, the news is the main manipulator here. And I started watching more of the left, quote unquote, the left side of opinions. And they're so, how do you call it? It's sound bites. It's literal sound bites and memes meant to evoke my emotions and stuff and make me go say Orange Man bad. But they never play the full story. They never have the full context. They always have their main idea and bias they're trying to push forward, put 3 or 4 sound bites from like 18 different speeches in order to there's no real flow. It's just like, see, this is what he said. This is what he said. Like, he said it, but you're not that way. Like, people swear that words are like only one way and like unidirectional. No, they can be interpreted and meant, and there's different contexts that make things mean different things. And this is what the news is fucking with people. And if you don't do other research, if you don't go see the actual clips yourself, it's annoying to go do your own fucking research. I get it. But if you don't go do it, then you're just being manipulated one way or the other. So yeah, stop that shit. Go do your own goddamn research. This is annoying. I'm tired of people being emotional without actually checking anything. This is annoying. Stop this shit. How do we stop this shit?
But all the while, some of those people, think about, let's take a look at like how many people are under the influence of some sort of pharmaceutical drug by some doctor that, prescribes them that they think is okay based on symptomatic things that's going on with them as opposed to the underlying causes. All right, nevertheless, everyone's on some sort of substance.
Right.
It's prescribed, whether it's self-prescribed or, prescribed by somebody else with a white coat.
Yeah, I think especially women. Like I know that sounds weird, but because women, they have the birth control stuff. A lot of them have the birth control stuff.
Yeah, that messes with your hormones like crazy.
Yeah, and women have women, their bodies are more absorbent of the environment. They're more transparent, so I think stuff affects them more easily. Like they're more likely to get breast cancer due to all the stuff, the toxins and stuff that they absorb. And yeah, so
all right, so first of all, it's going to impact the most important thing on that a species needs to reproduce, that is the woman.
Yeah, ties into the whole public agenda 21 thing.
That
target
actually,
the woman first.
No, go for it.
Yeah, it's targeting the woman. Yeah, exactly.
And that actually plays the chemical idea is great, because I've been thinking about this shit too. Is that I haven't tried any of these fucking things. I've never been heavily into making my body numb. The only thing we ever did was like the ketamine thing, and that was just weird for me. Like, I didn't really like it. I didn't hate it. I just took a 12-hour nap or a 13-hour nap across all of Cambodia. That was my only ketamine experience, and it was great because I didn't fucking. It was a horrible bus position to be on, lying down for 12 hours. But I didn't feel any of that because I just knocked the fuck out and woke up when we got there. And I was like, great. That was awesome. So that was my only experience with those kinds of substances. But I'm
it's meant to happen, apparently, bro.
Yeah, it was the perfect medicine, honestly, for that occasion. It knocked me out for 12, 13 hours. I remember that shit. It was great. But all these people on psychotropic medication, everybody on antipsychotics, everybody who's depressed. The real problem in America is a mental health problem. Beside all these other things, we really do have a mental health problem in America. I think it's the #1 problem in our society.
Probably globally, though, as opposed to just America, but
I think America specifically, because we're the ones that are over medicating on this specific issue.
Big Pharma. That's America's famous for its Big Pharma.
Yeah, I mean, the kids are on Adderall, the adults are on Adderall and other kinds of shit.
Well, that's because America's got like the biggest science, like socio-economical science experiment going on. Like, and we're just all the guinea pigs that, just fed different things. It's very interesting.
We deify science. We put it up as a religion. We have made science into a religion, and this pill is supposed to give me these chemicals that do all these things. And it's true, but it also fucks with you and makes you an addict. And these chemicals that are not naturally found in your body, you start to develop personality around them. You start to develop a form of, I don't know, what do you call it? Dependence around it. Because your body doesn't naturally lose it. Your body gets naturally addicted to painkillers because that's how you like to start feeling it. Your body goes, this is the natural state. Now, when you don't give it painkillers and it's not the natural state, your body starts craving it and start giving you pain. You think it's not the same for these antidepressants? You think antidepressants, your body doesn't start to crave these antidepressants and make you more depressed so that you can have more of these antidepressants? One of the side effects and risk factors of antidepressants is suicide. How the fuck is a side effect that's like the terminal thing of the illness you have? You're taking a medicine that's supposed to help you, but the side effect is a terminal part of whatever the fuck your illness is. Like,
Yeah, like the side effect is the disease itself that you're trying to.
Yeah, it's the consequence of the disease. And you're like, what? So if you're taking anti-cancer medication that gave you cancer, that makes no fucking sense, right? Chemotherapy kind of does it because it kills everything, but that makes no sense, right? So why are we? I don't know. I don't get.
I think that's how modern medicine works. Most of the things that like most of the drugs that try to cure a problem, they they exacerbate the problem because when you don't take it away, and when you don't take it, it's going to make that problem worse because you have this chemical dependency on it.
Right.
And yeah, sometimes it's just straight up where sometimes it just doesn't bind properly and
Right.
yeah, I don't know why the side effect of something that's meant to make you less depressed is going to be that it makes you more depressed.
Yeah. And I've heard this. Joe Rogan has a ton of people, and one of the first people he had was a psychologist who was studying the dependency of these psychotropic drugs, and he's saying doctors don't have the end result. Like there's no plan to wean people off the medicine. There's no goal for them to wean people off. The solution for those people who are depressed is not to get them off the medicine and make them happy. The solution is for them to always keep taking that medication. There is no plan and scenario in which they take them off that medication. It's not part of their whole solution. Their whole solution is take this, only take this until you die. Until you probably kill yourself. Well, not probably kill yourself, but until you die. And that's fucked. And I think that and then you combine the news and all this other crap that we have, and that just makes people super reactionary. It does. A lot of people are super, super reactionary. And I can tell by all the comments I was reading on the bottom. And let's just be honest, man. When people see anything they don't like, a lot of them just get pumped. Adrenaline pumps, type. Adrenaline pumps, type.
Well, yeah, it's that emotional response, though. They're getting triggered.
Yes. And
They're
saying
reacting. They're not responsible. They're not response able. You know what I'm saying?
right. They're reactionable.
Yeah. So it's just they're emoting. So they're just thinking out of emotion. So the first thing that comes to mind is how they're going to react. And not think about it, not think it through, not think about any precautions, not think about any of the things that happen after what they say or do.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's a problem with a lot of us right now. And well, the one Buddhist temple we used to go to, the one Buddhist meetings we have, the constant message is always don't just react to the situations out. Be aware of the event. Like put yourself separate yourself from the person taking all those actions, like having those reactions, just giving yourself a little distance. And that's what most people don't have. Most people don't have a distance between what they're seeing and how they're reacting. They're just like A B A B A B A B. They're not. Yeah, they need to calm the fuck down, to be honest.
Yeah, need to meditate. And yeah, I think that's like the cure to everything, though. You know, that because the mind is like the source of all the issues that we're taking, and the mind is also the source of all the medicines. Like our mind can produce pretty much every drug out there that we need in like a safe way.
Yeah, the best medicine on the planet is placebo.
Yeah, it's the most natural too.
That shit has the best results.
Yeah, I mean, we just need to be able to control it, not control it, but guide it, and like have an intention for it, and have things we focus on. And it's possible, and it's not possible if all you're thinking about is a bullshit outside. Like, I know literally some parts of the world are burning right now. I know California was burning heavily not too long ago. It probably still is a little bit right now. But that doesn't mean that your mind has to be in constant chaos. It doesn't mean that you have to be unhappy. And a lot of people are going through fuck shit. But having the idea that everything is fucked and everything will always be fucked and this is how you're always going to be and this is how things are, and accepting the reality that things are fucked. I mean, it's good to accept that reality, but know that reality changes. Everything changes. Change is reality. Reality is change. And not gonna lie, I took 100 milligrams edible yesterday, and it was good. It was good. Once a week kind of thing, I think is the ideal. Cause that DMT rail, man, I think that's where real change in the placebo effect happens. Being able to construct the ego around the ego that you want to have, being able to manipulate the ego and form it into the ego that you want to be.
Why?
It's not
Your
bad
ego
that
is
you have,
your friend, but it's learning how to use it to your advantage.
right. It's not bad that you have an ego. If we didn't
Never
have an
goes away.
ego,
You can't kill your ego. That's not possible. It
no,
creeps
you,
up in one way or another.
yeah. You can't kill your ego, but you can dissolve it and see how it is to be egolessness.
Yeah, I get the selflessness and the egolessness, but like how Ryan Holiday wrote "Ego is the enemy," I can agree to an extent, but I would also disagree and say your ego can't necessarily be your enemy. Like,
You, well, it can be if you're making yourself the enemy.
yeah,
Like you
I
can
think
make yourself the
your
enemy.
ego is just like your poop. You know, you can't really make an enemy out of your poop. You know, it's just the effect of what you've
don't blame the poop.
created.
Blame what you're putting in your mouth.
Right. Exactly. Don't
Yeah.
blame the poop. Blame what you're putting in your mouth. And yeah, the ego is you. It's your body. It's what you think you are and how you think you are and how you think you behave and how you behave in certain
Don't
situations.
blame the ego. Blame like who you surround yourself with. Blame the thing
Yeah.
you yes, like the stuff you read, the stuff you watch, the
Yeah.
things you believe.
You don't even have to blame it. Just realize that that's what it is.
Right. Understand and be aware of that.
Yeah, like no blame has to be
Own your shit. Oh yeah, blame implies that you did something wrong. There's nothing wrong.
right. You just have to be aware. Just aware of what you're putting in.
Awareness, not subconscious bullshit.
Yeah. Be consumed. What am I reading here, Ahmed? You kind of just
I've been trying to as you know, I've been having some dietary issues
right.
this past couple weeks. I've been trying to eat more alkaline. Trying to have an avocado every day. I'm gonna try to start eating pomegranates again because those things are kind of seedy. But this is a list of like 11 superfoods that Dr. Mercola recommends on his site here. We got avocado, pomegranate.
Cola.
Yeah.
Who is that?
Huh?
Who is Mercola?
Mercola is a pretty controversial doctor who tells us the truth sometimes, especially about some of this pandemic stuff that's happening.
alternative doctor. It's so weird they say alternative now, just to like.
Seriously,
Yeah.
they should alternative the definition of the way in the context right there. The way that they're saying alternative is actually holistic.
Yeah.
Holistic, the meaning of that is like, let me consider your whole body. Let me consider your actual health.
Right.
So real doctors are called alternative doctors, and then the fake doctors that just prescribe you drugs and take care of things symptomatically, like, oh, you gotta, yeah, those are called, those are the doctors that everyone goes to. Those are the doctors that are insured, that you're insured for.
Those are the ones that are slowly but surely, I'm not gonna say killing you, but a lot of them are.
No,
Yeah,
they're
it's
slowly
better
killing
to
you.
go the route of the doctors that don't take insurance because they're not chasing someone down for some money. They know they're you got to trust their services and go straight to them.
I think that's smarter. I'm off of free market doctors. I don't believe insurance company doctors because insurance companies are a fucking scam, dude.
I
Especially if
just,
they're making billions.
yeah, I just use them as like the same way that I would use a drug dealer.
Yeah.
You know, if I really had some sort of like ailment and I needed a specialist, then I would go to him for that. But for me, they're just kind of like a a resource. They're not actually my healer. They're not.
Right.
I mean, no one should be placed above you, but you
Yeah.
know, in old times, in tribal times, you know, you would have the village elder, you know, the
Yeah.
healer, you know, and
Healer and yeah.
you'd have someone you could actually look up to, someone you who actually knows what they're doing and doesn't have to search your symptoms within a database and tell you. And
Exactly. So, well, if you're listening, we're not saying don't go to your doctor or don't trust doctors. You do whatever the hell you want to do. This is a freedom you have. We're just saying you might not just trust them blindly just because they got a certificate from a school. They don't always have your best intention at heart. They don't. Like a lot of them do run on quotas and money and pushing some kind of pills and doing pushing some kind of remedy and vaccination quotas as well. So
yeah,
don't.
I have to have like 70% vaccination.
Yeah,
Uh,
they get super bonuses for vaccines and shit. It's
I'd
insane.
also posit to ask your doctor some questions. See how passionate your doctor is about what you're asking that doctor, if it's relative to what they study and what they do.
Exactly.
Passion
the
really
time,
will you a person.
most of the time when I do that, they're like, "Oh, I don't have enough time to explain all this to you." Like, because they're like a lot, most doctors, they're
And that to me tells me a lot right there. That answers the question for me. I don't have time. What do you mean you don't have time? All
Yeah.
right, for sure.
And yeah, he might not have time, but if he doesn't have time to actually take care of your needs and actually listen to you and try to explain to you what's happening, then he doesn't really give a shit. You're just another number to him. You're just another
Cares
case
about
to
what
him.
they're doing. Yep.
Like medical death is like one of the top 5 death causes of death in the United States. Medical
I
death.
would be like, hey, if I was your son or daughter and I asked you that question and you were another doctor, how would you feel if you gave him that answer? Would you want them to continue to go to you?
And this is something I've only seen in the United States, where I've had medical care outside the United States. They're not as shitty. They're just not. Maybe they're not even more empathetic, but they at least take more time to explain shit to you, and they don't have condescending attitudes like they do here. Here, the doctors here think they're the shit, and I fucking hate anybody who thinks they're the shit. I just, I don't hate that vibe. I'm put off by that vibe. Anybody who has an incredibly high fucking sense of themselves and they think their authority means something to me, fuck you. It doesn't. I don't care. I don't care what your degrees say. I don't care how highly you think of yourself. You can go fuck yourself.
Your alphabet soup in front of your name doesn't matter.
Yeah, dude, I don't care. I don't care how in debt you are. I don't.
yeah. That's yeah, it is a fallacy to to believe. You know, one of the logical fallacies is just to believe someone based on their credentials.
Right.
Right.
So
I mean, wasn't that the whole case with the Nazi thing? And they figured out that people just believe people in lab coats because of a sense of authority. Like people would be driven to kill other people and electrocute them because just someone else told them it was okay to do it. This false sense of authority needs to fucking stop. And I was, I'm surprised that a lot of people are still bending the knee to this false sense of authority. The whole Dr. Fauci, listen to the WHO people who directly want to listen to the WHO do not realize that the WHO is not a government. It is not a
You guys listen to any of what Zach Bush has been saying?
who?
He's Zach Bush,
I don't
doctor.
know who Zach Bush is.
He was on. He's been on some of Brian Rose's stuff. I just listened to him on Luke Story's podcast recently. That's where I got the 75% glyphosate in the atmosphere.
Well, if he's saying it, well, I guess we're agreeing this point. The WHO is not. It's a medical authority, but it's a medical authority of a professional. There's no difference between the WHO and another random organization of doctors. There really isn't. Just because they give themselves the authority and they put themselves a name and we're gonna take care of the world doesn't mean they're actually doing it. It doesn't mean they have your best interest in mind.
Saying they're using like outdated science for what they're saying, anyways.
And whether they're using outdated or new fuck science, it doesn't. I don't care. I just don't respect their authority, and there's no accountability for them. There's no one above them to say, no, you guys are fucking up. Well, you guys got to calm the fuck down or do better. No, they are the authority for themselves. It's like the police checking on themselves. They're going to find themselves not guilty. Same fucking thing.
They're not the authority. Well, yeah, they're authority themselves, but they have to respond to it.
What happened?
Isn't there like the ADA or something, the American Doctors Association? So they have to like comply. Like, David Cundiff from the garden we were working on, he got his license revoked just because he was talking more about palliative care, just natural cures, like taking vegetarian diet.
Here's the thing. Nobody's forced to listen to the WHO. Nobody's beholden to them. They're not a government organization. They're not the FDA or the CDC. We don't have to listen to them. And I think I told you, Ahmed, I think the first time I truly started listening to what the hell Trump has to say and started going into that kind of seeing, quote unquote, waking up to the bullshit of the media and the truth that Trump isn't the worst. He's not the fucking devil. He is kind of a demon, but he's not the devil. Is when he told the WHO to go fuck themselves. When his administration said, nah, WHO, we ain't about to listen to your bullshit no more. Peace.
Yeah, he's done some things that just made me like, wow.
That to me speaks volumes.
Yeah, because just imagine if he did do all the things that we talk about.
Yeah.
Like, at least he's doing like a couple of the things that are,
right.
Responding against the fake news.
Mm-hmm.
The
fake news is real, people. You want to call it Fox? You want to call it CNN? You want to call it MSNBC? The fake news is real. There are some individual segments and some people in there that speak truth, but overall, all news is pushing one way or another. So just always be aware of that.
Yeah, it's never free thought news anyways, because you have to be approved about what's about to be spoke about on air. Like someone's telling you what to
someone. Yeah. Unless you're getting through independent people like we are, and it's just people listening to people, but then they call those people conspiracy theories.
Yeah, but you're talking about on Fox News and stuff like that.
True.
Like
it's true. But yeah, look, I'm also talking about Timcast. I've been watching this fool go rants for like hours, like
Tim Pool.
Yeah, Tim Pool, and it's interesting, and he gets worked up. It's like a mini Alex Jones with less cussing. Way less cussing. He actually doesn't cuss very much because he's trying to stay on the fucking platforms and stuff. He follows the rules because libertarians don't just complain there's no free speech. They go, okay, that's the rule for your platform. I agree with your rules, and I will play by your game. Like that's a smart way to do it. And yeah, I agree. If I am on your platform and we have this sort of mutual agreement, if I breach the agreement, then okay, there's repercussions. That's liberty. That's liberty. That's freedom. But yeah, Tim Pool's been on it, and he's an independent person. And he has just as many views as like a lot of these big ass CNN, MSNBC like people. Like it's hilarious how independent people are now having massive views, and yeah, it's good.
You ever used to listen to any of the stuff like Abby Martin would put out? Were you ever a fan of her? Any of you guys?
Or when she had her own show too.
Like the Breaking the Set back in the day.
The Set was great.
She has I think she still has a show on Empire, like on some sort of Hispanic network.
Really?
Yeah.
Maybe I should watch her. She's, dude, she's like Power, beauty, and intelligence all in one right there. I wouldn't mind just listening to her. I'll check her out more.
Yeah.
What were we talking about?
It had
Eddie
like
Martin.
good arguments, and she just had very good points and good journalism.
Yeah, this is back when we were fucking. I just watched the Zeitgeist movement, and she talked to Peter Joseph, and we used to like, yeah, dude, I remember this.
Empire Files.
Oh, he's
Empire.
been
Oh,
on
she's
our
still
TV.
doing that. Nice. June 26th. What are her thoughts on all this?
It's a good question. I don't know.
I haven't heard her speak in a minute. I might want to watch her speak. I'm pretty sure she. Oh, that Trump versus. Yeah, I don't know. I would want to watch her speak.
This we could pause it and watch this.
All right, let's take a quick little pause, and we'll be right back. And we're back. All right, we watched that 7-minute video. Turns out we're fucked. that's what it turned out to be.
Peace is not on the ballot.
Peace is not on the ballot was the conclusion. We're gonna bomb people regardless of whoever we're gonna choose. People are gonna get bombed. What I don't agree on is civilian bombing of populations. I don't think we intentionally bomb civilians. I think we just they're casualties of war or what is it called? Collateral damage.
Kind of a bold claim for her to say that.
I know, but what would be the benefit of just bombing random civilians? There's other ways to take care of people, and bombing them is not an efficient way to take care of individual civilians. Starving them is, giving them bad vaccines is, not providing them water is, feeding them bullshit through their social media so they can start a civil war is. There's other ways to take care of people. I don't think bombing is the most efficient way to kill people. And it's expensive. It's super expensive to kill people. The most expensive way to kill people is to bomb them.
Damn.
It truly is.
CFR, it's in control of everything.
Yeah, the Council of Foreign Relations is probably a buzzword we can't say, just along with the Bilderberg meetings and the Trilateral Commission. Just more buzzwords that we can't say.
You just said it.
Wait, fuck them. I mean, these are probably somewhere in the Google and YouTube rules that we can't have these words or something, because then we just get banned. Like
Pretty much. So like all the main companies that we know, they belong to this. They respond to this higher authority.
let's read this out for people. Where is this?
It's the same thing. Like every media company owned by everything's owned by 5 major companies.
Yeah, well.
Yeah, this dude is arguing. He's commenting on her video that basically saying that Biden's the one that has the most people from these major companies on his cabinet.
Yeah, he's tied to a lot of these companies. Biden is a status quo vote. He is the status quo. He's just as bad as Hillary.
I think that's the main reason.
Trump's got a lot of enemies. Look at how Trump is he's a lone wolf, man. That guy's an interesting character.
That guy does not give a fuck. It's hilarious. He is America. For all the hate you might want to give him, Trump is America. He made his money through his own ways, and even if he lied his way to the top, he's still richer than you. He's still doing better than you. He's still, in a way, better off than 99.99999% of all of us.
Right.
He's still the president of the United States.
Yeah.
But the statistical probability of someone being the president of the United States is so high, and this guy did it. And he's never been in public office. How many people have never been in public office and were just like, president?
Yeah, he's like, I decided I want to do politics. And so I did politics.
He had political ambitions before. Like, there's videos where he had political ambitions. But the audacity of a man to just go, I'm going to just be president. Fuck it. And then if he goes president, like, I don't think that's ever been done. He's the first one that isn't, that didn't serve in the military and wasn't a general or something. He's the first one who wasn't a career politician. He is America. Like, he doesn't care about your feelings. He'll say what he wants to. He'll do what he wants to, He'll have kids with whoever he wants to. He's going to be rich, and he's going to become the most powerful, important person in the world because he just wants to do it, and he feels like that's his way to help people. And I heard he's losing money every day he's in the office.
Yeah, he's giving away his $400,000 salary to charities. I mean, no president's ever done that. I mean, he does have a lot of saving
Are they
things.
his own charities or what? No. Does he have any tie to them?
No, they're actually. So let's see, Trump. There was like a list.
Charities he gives money to. Yeah, like I don't know about any other president ever doing that. And yeah, for him, 400K a year is nothing to a quote unquote millionaire, whoever.
I heard he's like actually like net negative because he has a lot of loans. He has a lot of debts. Actually.
Yeah, well, most rich people are net negative. Like most rich people owe tons of money, but they just live in this bubble of what's it called, fiat currency, where all their assets are like negative 15 billion, but they're also plus this if they sold all their assets. Like rich people are rich in different ways than poor people, and just because he owes a lot of money doesn't mean he's not rich. Google owes a lot of money. YouTube owes a lot of money. All these big businesses owe a lot of money. Amazon owes billions of dollars, billions upon billions upon billions. Nobody ever pays off their debt. Rich people do not pay off their debt. That's how they remain rich. They just get more debt, and then they just put more of the positive back in their accounts while they keep all the debts. Kind of just, they're playing the Monopoly game, paying off the credit card. Nobody pays off their debts. Nobody pays off their house fully. Rich people who do real estate markets and do all this stuff, they don't say, okay, you get your house and then you pay it off completely. That's not what the fuck they're saying. Nobody who's doing flipping houses, nobody who's actually making money in real estate tells you to buy your house and pay it off fully. That is not their advice. So, yeah, Trump is in debt. All rich people are in debt by millions and billions, and sometimes they're in debt over. They have more money and they're more in debt than they have money. And that's normal for rich people. I don't understand why people are surprised that rich people are in debt.
Yeah, that makes sense. Like they might actually be, it's like kind of like having a mortgage. You're in debt, like you're paying it off, but it's not like you're defaulting or something.
Right. You're in debt, but you're not in default. Debt is actually not bad because it means you're building credit that way. And the more ability you're able to pay off this credit, the more credit they're willing to give you, which then gives you more resources, obviously, because you have more credit. Credit is good if you know how to use it. It's bad if you get fucked with it and you're carrying for the rest of your life. Yeah.
So this site explains what he's doing to. So the first quarter, he gave it to the health department.
Oh, so he's just giving it away.
Second quarter, he gave it to the VA.
Oh, he's just donated it back to the programs in the country.
Yeah, this USDA. First quarter salary went to the USDA. Yeah, he's funding.
Wow. That's impressive. I wouldn't give that money back. That's impressive. Oh, man.
And that's smart, because I don't know. It's better than giving it to I think it's better than giving it to the, Red Cross or things like that.
Yeah, dude, fuck those things.
Because this is more.
Tell me that isn't American. That's true American right there. He's donating his money back to America.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, directly.
Exactly. I think this is how we should start doing taxes and all this kinds of stuff. I don't think people are that greedy. I don't think the point of giving people money in order for society to maintain itself is a bad idea.
Yeah, that would be awesome if we could adjust our taxes every year. Like, I want this percent of my taxes to go to the veterans and this percent go to agriculture. You can just keep adjusting it every year.
Yeah. You think America won't just wake up and be like, someone attacked us? Do you know how much money America would raise if we're attacked? Do you know how fast we would go into wartime if we were actually attacked and we feel threatened? Even if we give nothing to the military in the beginning, as soon as we're threatened, everybody will be like, gun up. And there would be onslaughts of money just coming through.
People gunned up during the pandemic, man. They thought they
Yeah,
were
yeah, we gun like imagine if a country attacked us. We would do the same thing and start blowing them to shit. Like that's I think American people should be more involved with how the government spends their money. I totally agree with that. That makes total sense.
Yeah, this is funny right here. Is Trump's yearly salary is 400,000, but Article 2 of the Constitution requires the president to be paid. So Trump modified his promise to accept just $1 per year.
Yeah, that's what a lot of CEOs do too. They give themselves $1 per year so they don't pay any of the taxes too. Hey, yeah, the salary is not the only way you can get paid. Salary is actually the poor people way of getting paid because then you have to pay taxes. The real way of getting paid is getting all these other bonuses and gifts and all these other things, and those can just be counted as business expenses. When your business starts paying for your rent, then you know you've made it.
So look at this here. I think this might be the reason why Trump can't just, suddenly stop bombing, and all that. I mean, and although he's the
Yeah.
chief executive, I mean, he can't, like, it still has to go through Congress. Like when we're in war, like it's easier to pull out than to like attack, I think, right? Because it's saying here like Trump proposed cuts to agencies in 2018 in favor of defense for 2018 in favor of defense. Okay, no, I think I read it wrong. It says in favor of defense.
Propose cuts to agencies.
Oh,
For
cuts. Okay. Oh, okay, okay. So that is,
wait. Propose cuts for agencies.
but Congress did not act on those cuts. So
That's a
Congress,
weird way. That's a weird way to put it. So did he propose cuts for defense spending agencies, or did he propose cuts for agencies so we can spend it more on defense?
the first one. So Trump
Okay.
suddenly proposed cuts to agencies that were in favor of having increasing
Okay.
defense spending. But then
So
Congress is like, nah, we need more money. We need to
we need
keep
to spend
increasing our
it.
black budget.
Yeah. So you can't blame Trump for everything else the other politicians have done and are continuing to do.
I mean, yeah, it's not a monarchy or anything. You still have balance of powers, and
Dude, I know what we should do. We should create a law so that you're forced to wear on your, like, when you go do a meeting or you go do any of your government work, you have to wear a blazer with all your sponsors on them. And I know we've seen them in memes, but I think that'd be so genius. Like you can see everybody's corporate sponsor, and then I can just imagine a President Trump with just a single fucking sponsor that says America. Like, oh, oh, I don't know, man. I think it's
is
just
that
comedy.
publicly? Is that like I mean, lobbyism should be illegal. First of all, politicians
Yeah.
should not be. Lobbyists should not be allowed at all.
But that's free market, isn't it? The ability for you to grow and promote your business and then do things so your business can become bigger is part of the
Isn't
free market.
lobbyism where you pay politicians to speak about stuff, and you can pay
And
them
vote
hundreds
certain
of.
ways, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's not free market. Free market is when the people are choosing, the individual people are choosing, oh, people are buying more organic stuff.
Mm.
Now there's tons of organic stuff out.
But the free market is also free for big corporations to do whatever the hell they want.
No, it's for the citizens, and the
So
free market is basically.
if you stop me from lobbying, how is that a free market? You're not respecting the freedom of the big corporations.
You can't lobbyism is basically bribery. You
Yeah.
can't bribe a politician to vote in a certain way.
Why? That's the free market. Everything's for sale in the free market, including votes.
Not politician votes. No, those votes are not for sale.
Ah.
And that's the thing with democracy. People don't get, like, democracy is dangerous. That's the reason we have a republic, because there's a lot of people. There's a huge influx of young voters and things like that, and it's just and a lot of immigrants. And the reason that Soros and the like, they're pushing tens of thousands of people into the U.S. is to slowly lean the vote towards the left, because otherwise people would vote more conservatively. But yeah, free market doesn't. doesn't have that principle of it's basically market driven. It's the I learned a new word recently. Agorism. Have you guys ever heard of agorism?
I have. I forgot what it was.
Yeah, agorism is basically synonymous with free market.
It's volunteerism.
Yeah, volunteerism is part of one of the principles of it.
Its definition doesn't do anything. Agorism is a social philosophy that advocates creating a society in which all relations between people are voluntary exchanges by means of counter-economics, engaging with aspects of peaceful revolution. What's counter-economics?
These two things. So it's profitable civil disobedience, opposition to political parties, and voluntary association. Pretty logical principles, you know.
Right. Seems pretty libertarian about like.
Yeah, this is libertarian in a nutshell. Not a nutshell, but one of the principles of libertarianism.
So, okay, let's actually get into this. So the concept of counter-economics is the most critical element of agorism that can be described as such. The counter-economy is a sum of all non-aggressive human action which is forbidden by state. Is a sum of all non-aggressive, okay. Counter-economics is a study of counter-economy and its practices, obviously. The counter-economy includes a free market, the black market, the underground economy, all acts of civil and social disobedience, all acts of forbidden association, sexual, racial, cross-religious, and anything else the state at any place or time chooses to prohibit, control, regulate, tax, or tariff. The counter-economy excludes all state-approved action, the white market, and the red market, violence and theft, not approved by the state. What do you mean not approved by the state? I really don't get what the hell I just read, to be honest.
Is like the black market. So it's just saying that the stuff on the black market is still stuff that people want. It's still stuff that, you know, people are demanding. So.
So if you allow all these things to be in the regular market, it's not a counter economy anymore.
Right. Yeah, that's what it's saying.
Okay. Except the red market. So the sum of all non-aggressive human action was just forbidden by the state. So drugs. You can take whatever drug you want. You can buy whatever drug you want. Probably even recreation and fun. Like there'd probably be no regulations on bungee jumping or whatever the hell, skydiving. Like there'd be none of that. You can put yourself in as much danger as you want, as long as you're not hurting anybody. Okay, whatever. All right, so like agorism.
And the key thing there is just it excludes the red market, you know, violence and theft not approved by the state. Yep.
But it's kind of weird that it says not approved by the state. Like if there is violence and theft approved by the state, if so, what is violence and theft approved by the state? Okay, self-defense is probably okay. I see your point. Profitable civil disobedience is interesting. Agorism believes gradual withdrawal of state support through what Konkin describes as profitable civil disobedience, starving the state of its revenue and purpose by transferring these responsibilities over decentralized institutions, is the most feasible way to achieve free markets according to agorism.
This is exactly what you were talking about, pretty much.
Not paying these regulations and not paying big ass FDA and CDC people, but then keeping it more state and potentially city local, and putting the money towards that kind of stuff too. Starving the state of its revenue. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Interesting. That actually would be profitable for all Americans if we decrease the size of the government. I don't think people understand that the government is a big impediment on most freedoms. Why do people want more government? Corey, do you want more government?
Oh, hell no. What's the point? I don't even like the government we have now.
Yeah, but yeah, why do we have more government? Why do people want more government?
Because people are lazy to.
Do people really understand what they mean by that? People don't like making choices for themselves. That's the issue I see across the board.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So I feel like if you put the pressure on, say you vote somebody into office or somebody gets voted however they get voted in the system we're in, right? So now that person makes that decision. So if that shit doesn't go right, they can put the blame on them as opposed to taking the blame for themselves. I think that's kind of how humans, especially in the system we're in currently, like, I don't know, it's an easy way to look at it. But that's a lot of pressure to put on one individual to make a choice for however millions and millions of people we have in this country, let alone, I mean, even millions of people in states.
Oh, well, yeah, man. I don't think anybody should be fucking forced to make any choice for anybody else. Like, at the same time, I don't think anybody should make a choice for you if you don't want that to be the case.
Like, are we not evolved enough to not necessarily need a national government? Like, or is that what, like, because I mean, the United States hasn't been attacked on its land, and have we ever been attacked on our land? Except for without we really realized 9/11,
Mexico,
I guess.
Mexico was the last nation to attack the U.S., but it wasn't its land at that time, so I don't even think it counts.
Right.
I mean, Japan, was Hawaii part of our land, or did that become part of our land after we got attacked in Pearl Harbor? Because we took Hawaii because of military strategic. It was a military strategic position, and it is to have a base in the middle of the fucking ocean is very military strategic, extremely military strategic. So, yeah, I don't think we've ever been attacked on the land. I mean, the French, maybe, Canadians, 200 years ago. But yeah, we're pretty safe, bro. Like, it actually wasn't a bad idea to go from coast to coast. You know, because if you do unite coast to coast, you've only had one civil war, which was pretty goddamn bloody. But we could have been divided into 20 fucking countries like Europe. And that would have been, I don't know where the fuck we would be right now if we were 20 different countries.
I mean, we call ourselves the United States of America. We're not that united, though, you know?
Are we not? Are we not, though? Like, are there more things separating us than there are unifying us? And if so, what's separating us?
Various religions separate us.
That's always been the case, though. And the
Yeah.
United States is not religion specific, even though people want to say it's Christian or whatever and to say the word God in there. Yeah, they only put the word God in there because in the 1950s they were fighting against communism, and communism doesn't have God. So a good way to fight communism is to have God in your government. And plus it pleased a lot of Christians and other people of faith because God isn't exclusive to Christianity. Judeo-Christians are God-believing. And that was the majority of us. There weren't that many Buddhists here when they did that. Yeah. The majority of America is Judeo-Christian. And like, I'm talking about North and South. So, weird. I don't think we're that divided. I think we don't have a common cause to fight for, so all we see is our division. Everybody thinks they're fighting the right cause, even though we really don't have any big problems.
Right,
America
I mean, we can all equally just drive through each state and not get any issues having had towards us.
Yeah, like just by us being American it unifies us a lot. And if we're in different countries, you'll see it. Like when I was meeting all types of Americans, it wasn't that like, oh man, where you from? Oh, I'm from Virginia. I'm like, oh snap, Virginia was good. Like I'm from the completely opposite side of the United States, and we're still saying what's up to each other, like we know each other, like we're from the same hood, and that I think does unify us, and you can see it when we travel. Here in the United States, I just think we don't have a real problem. We don't have real problems like other countries. Other countries have serious fucking issues that are threatening their existence. We have existence threatening issues, but a lot of them are,
us threatening their existence.
huh?
Some of the issues are American soldiers threatening their existence.
Yeah, we give a lot of issues to a lot of people, and our corporations have led to a lot of civil unrest, to be honest. American corporations have led to a lot of civil unrest. And here's the shit that I don't like doing, though. I don't like blaming that shit just straight up on a race, which is what a lot of the systemic racism and this whole racism thing, like, no, rich people don't care about race. They care about money and power. Race is just an excuse or something they use in order to divide people in order to get more money and power. That's it. They didn't invade a country because there's our brown people. No, we wanted to take their shit. That's it. They could have been whatever color. We still wanted to take their shit. They just happen to be brown. Also, they just say some bad things about the brown people and say they're all fucking savages and say they're all fucking, they're killing each other and they're starving each other and make up all bunch of lies that, yeah, people will believe. So yeah, I don't think we have a race problem in the United States. We like to see problems. We like to make problems. We like to make divisions. We like to label shit. The labeling shit is where I'm annoyed of. Everyone is labeled and everything has a million fucking labels. It's annoying. Oh shit. Oh, why was he doing that? Damn, everything starts leading back to the left. I hate saying the left too because it sounds so stupid, but it is a very easy way to categorize a lot of like-minded people. The left is anybody who tries to judge you based upon things that you have no control over is an idiot. I'm sorry, you can't judge people based on color, race, sex. Yeah, those are things you cannot judge them on. Even religion, for the most part, a lot of people don't choose a religion. Some do. Some do. Most people don't choose a religion. Most people continue the religion they've been taught. I don't know why, but they do. I've actually started to believe in all religions. I think that's the new way to do it. What's that thing called when you believe in all of them? Omniism? Omniist.
It's like pantheism.
Pantheism? I think it was omniism.
I don't. Oh, okay.
Pantheism, omniism, pantheism, omniism, pantheism. I don't really know.
Pantheism means that you believe in that there's God in everything.
Interesting.
I've never heard of omniism.
Omniism, like that.
Is recognition and okay, it is omniism. Cool.
Okay, yeah.
Learn a new thing.
So omniism is a recognition and respect of all religions or lack thereof. Those who hold this belief are called omniists. What do we believe? I don't know what's supposed to be here. Oh, wait. In this regard, omnism does not appear in form of theology, as it neither espouses nor opposes particular beliefs about God. Instead, it affirms the necessity of one arriving at an understanding of reality based on personal experience, engagement, and inquiry, and an acceptance of the validity and legitimacy of the differing understandings of others. In this, there is, however, an implied system of values of ethics. Okay. Yeah, I believe all of them are right. They're all different paths to the same place. And have you guys ever done, I'm jumping topics completely in 1,000%, but have you guys ever done holotrophic breathing?
Holotrophic breathing. I've never heard of that.
Holotrophic?
No, but I've read Stanislav Grof's book about that.
Okay, so I haven't read any books or seen any videos. I've just been breathing and seeing shit. So this is my extent of my experience, and there's a practice I do where it's my morning daily stretch practice where I go into the I don't even know what to call it pose, the bowing down pose, and then
Child pose.
maybe child pose. I don't think it's a child pose because I'm not putting my knees in. I am positioning myself so I can lean back and go back at some point in time. But the thing is, like, I hold my breath while I go back, and then I come back up, still holding the breath. And then you can feel the blood. And a lot of it has to do with the blood. Holotropic breathing is very related to your blood and the oxygenation of that blood and making certain energies because of the way you're breathing. So when I come back up, there are many times when I put my head down, when I put my forehead down to the floor, where it breaks into a fractals and it just goes. It literally, there's a fractal that comes out. And the fractal usually goes with my kind of vibe or the kind of idea or the kind of reality that I'm giving off at that moment. They do change. They've never actually been the same. So I've been doing this more recent or again, and it's starting to happen again. Just 3 times, just 3 going back forward and going forward. You're able to see, it's like a mini DMT experience. Very mini DMT experience. And
Wow, this initial story here is very interesting. This Dr. Stanislav Grof, he discovered holotropic breathwork when, after LSD was banned. He was like, I think there's, because we have the receptors in our brain, we can create LSD in our own brains.
yeah.
And that's how he discovered this breathing method.
Yeah. So holotropic breathing has to do with oxygen and blood and energy and how you flow with it. So I do hold my breath and I do force my blood to go directly to my forehead. It is like a punch to the pineal gland. It literally is just like, wake up, wake up. And it's amazing, to be honest. It really leaves me, that buzz you get after meditating?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it kind of leaves you that buzz.
How did you come across holotropic breathwork?
Well, I've heard about it, but it was a combination of DMT and mushroom experiences. The DMT one, it's just the access to the realms. Now that I've been exposed to those chemicals, now that I have at least peeked through the window of reality, I'm able to catch the glimpse of reality again every now and again, which is a trip. And then the mushroom thing is just the only time I was able to actually feel comfortable with all the information and everything happening and all the chaos that was going on around me when I was tripping was me putting my head down, putting my forehead straight down to the floor and letting everything stabilize. That was the only way that I was able to stabilize my world. So I came to the conclusion that the reason I leaned back is because that's how I felt when I was when the DMT adventure began. I felt like I was just leaning back and I just leaned back into existence and I just molded and melted into the darkness kind of thing. So I'm following that same feeling so I can get that. Yeah, I'm following the same feeling of going back into nothing. And while I'm doing that, I'm thanking that experience and I'm thanking the nothingness and I'm thanking diving back in. And then I'm also thinking that I'm kind of still here kind of thing. So I'm thinking a lot of things. I'm just thinking. And yeah, that's how I got to this. I've heard of holotropic breathing and I know that you can induce these kinds of experiences, but I've never actually checked out anybody who tells me how to do it because I'm going to just do whatever I want anyways. Yeah, so that's how I came to it.
Are you following any specific method, or you found this online, or are you doing your own method, or what?
I'm doing my own specific method, which is I put my head down, and it might be child pose. It might be the other one.
I'm saying, like, did you find this online? How did you figure out this was even holotropic breathwork?
Well, I'm just assuming it works this way because it has worked this way, and I have had the results that people are saying you get from holotropic breathwork. I only do 3 breaths though. There's only 3 powerful breaths in my whole practice. I don't try to induce all these things and force it. No, I do these positions because it's like a daily prayer kind of thing.
Well, how did you find yourself in this position originally?
Because I wanted to take myself back into the DMT realm, and I know one good way to calm my mind and put everything at ease is to put my head down. And that was from mushrooms. From mushroom experience taught me that. And then the leaning back is from the DMT because that's how I felt when I was starting the whole adventure. Is that it's like I was just leaning back, and I just leaned back and leaned back, and I just kept leaning back, and I kept leaning back while going forward. And that's the kind of experience or feeling that I want. I want to be able to just to lean back and just let go. That's how I got to all this stuff. So I'm piecing it by myself, but I'm getting to the same conclusion as everyone for these other people.
That's dope.
Yeah, so it's the same thing for sun gazing. Like I remember Ahmed telling me about sun gazing. He was like, "Yeah, watch this, or watch like go do sun work." And like, I think I watched like a video of it, and I was like, "Okay, cool, I'm sold." And then I read the book on sun gazing that the guy wrote, the guy who kind of started the whole movement.
HRM or HR?
Yeah, HR something, right? And then I realized that all the things he was writing about, those were legit benefits that I had noticed myself. And I was just like, God damn, holy shit. This is why I don't like to overwhelm myself with evidence and cases and all these notes and all these things, because then you get expectations and biases and stuff like that. I would rather experience everything for myself. I'm just that kind of person. I'm a slow learner, I guess, but anecdotal evidence leads to a lot of delusions many times. For me, especially when it comes to meditating, you can start imagining whatever the fuck you want, to be honest. Which is not the ideal there. You're not supposed to imagine all this shit. You're supposed to let go of all the shit, even with the shit that you're imagining.
Yeah.
Which brings me back to America. And how we need to meditate more. Here's another random question for you guys. I know I've been bringing up a bunch of random shit. How is the education system like for you guys? Because I know they're trying to increase the budget again for the education system like they always do. We spent what, over $80 billion a year on education in California? And they're still trying to increase the amount of money being spent. And they're still trying to increase the property taxes to pay for all this stuff. But why don't we ever talk about the quality of education we're getting and the actual skills that people are learning? Because it's not just about going to a school and saying you went to a school. It's about the education itself. So why can't we make the education better? Why? There's so much money. Why can't we make it better? Someone answer me this. I got no answer.
There's this book called The Deliberate Dumbing Down of America, and I forgot this lady doctor wrote it, but
Wow.
she pretty much explains why the institution is pretty much designed to not really build good thinkers and just basically dumb people down. Like we have some of the dumbest curriculum in the world. That
We do.
Yeah, I think that's what hopefully homeschooling and this people taking their kids out of the school system is going to help. Like a lot of homeschool kids are pretty smart. I mean, although sometimes they're socially inept, but I think community schools and we just got to be more agorist about it, and
We have to create our own market of education. Like, I don't understand why all teachers have to go through the schools. I understand there has to be some level of certification and or like minimum requirements of knowledge or something that a person must have, and minimum requirements a person must have to be a teacher. I get that. But why do they all have to go through the same organizations to be vetted and trusted? Like, I think we'd be better off with, instead of 10 schools in the city, we'd have 1,000 teacher groups that have way less students but are more accountable, because it's easier to fire 5 or 6 bad teachers and when you have independent groups than it is to do it through a goddamn school system and be like, the whole school is fucked. You know how hard it is to just close a school? It's not the easiest thing to do, even if it's wasting tons of money. And they have closed down schools for sure. But then again, an education shouldn't just mean you went to school. An education should mean you learned something. Well, let's fucking learn something, man. I'm tired of all this nonsense being taught. It's fucking dumb. Why? I don't get it. Parents need to take their kids out of school.
Well, traditional education is not necessarily geared towards like learning per se, or at least based on my observation, like it's not geared to like posit you to want to like explore learning outside of in traditional Western cultures, like, well, where will this education take me? Where will this money, you know what I mean? It's geared more towards like the materialism and how much money they can make off of whatever education they go down.
That's true, but even in a materialistic, capitalistic world, wouldn't you? It benefits you more if you have smart people making and selling and moving more products than you do dumb people. So I get why they dumb them down, and that's all means power and control. But how are parents allowing this? How are parents saying, I care so much about the education and we need to spend more money on education, but have no fucking idea what they're actually being taught?
That's that issue right there. But even now they're finding out through the Zoom education system that the kids are getting.
Yeah.
And it's gonna highlight a lot of the fuckery, whereas like in the X amount of time that they were there, how many hours were these students really learning? What time are they really geared towards learning and education?
Right. A lot of school is just busy work. I hope people fucking understand that. I hope parents understand that. They probably don't remember, but a lot of your schooling was busy work. A lot of our schooling was busy work.
Well, I mean, look at corporate businesses today. A lot of work you'll find ends up being busy work. You don't even really need to be doing it, but they don't have anything else for you to do, so they're gonna make you do some busy work to keep you busy.
Yeah, I mean that's fucking nonsense. I don't understand busy work economies and societies. It makes no sense to do stupid shit that you don't really need to do. But I'm actually glad that kids are out of schools and they're taking them out of classes or these public schools. That social aspect shit doesn't matter. People are fucking crazy with 10,000 people or with 3 people. There are gonna be, yeah. It really doesn't matter. To me, it doesn't matter if the kid goes to school with 8,000 kids or goes to school with 5 or 6. Like, you're not gonna meet everybody at those fucking big ass schools.
What should be like?
It's all good. That's funny.
I think school has some value. Like, when I went to school, like high school,
Hanging out with the homies.
yeah, like I paid attention in class. I actually enjoyed every class except maybe history.
I enjoyed history, to be honest.
But I actually enjoyed every class, and it was my attitude towards it though, like
Right.
of using the class, not relying on the class.
Right.
I read a lot of books.
You did.
When I got home, I would do my own learning process, but I think, schools definitely can do a lot more, and they should do a lot more, like in terms of teaching people how to take care of their own finances, manage their own emotions.
If you offered people more money to make in that academic setting, then maybe we would see that.
I don't think it's about money though. Like a lot of these
money.
things can be, like, how much money does it take to
Right.
have
I get that, but I'm
meditation?
saying, but like the job wise, like look at the amounts of people that are rushing to want to be a teacher in Western cultures.
They're people who tend to have high EQs and be more empathetic and compassionate and want to actually give to something. They're not really money focused. And again, when you say money, how much money would be enough then? Because again, it just depends where you're living.
So that's what I mean by that. Like then the types of things like if you want somebody to learn how to do their taxes or something along those lines, you're gonna want somebody who's gonna be paid well to do that. Somebody's not just gonna teach that. I feel like that's setting. It's just
But
environment.
but here's the thing though, how much money would be enough for the teacher? Because there's no such thing as enough money. There's no
Right.
such thing as a living wage. Everyone lives differently at different rates and
Well, I guess it's also the respect factor, though. Like even teachers are more respected in other countries as opposed to this country here.
Yep, yep.
It's not a very respected career decision.
But again, is that a person's choice?
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's fine the way it is. People are learning in the land of internet more and more. People are learning to teach themselves more and more. People aren't relying on the school system as much. But the only thing that I think
Also, the
schools,
institution that they're teaching out of.
yeah, but I mean, it's just survival of the fittest. You know, if you don't learn, I mean, as a kid, you got access to the whole internet. You know, like when I was a kid, I was using, basic DSL and I was like reading all day, learning, teaching myself. And if kids nowadays can't do that themselves, then, that's their loss, and they're not going to make it in the job market.
Well, I don't really care about the job market either. But you did bring up a good point. It's all about the individual learning the skills. If people think, if parents think, if kids think that just learning the stuff in school is enough and that you're good and that it's done, then you obviously fucking failed at school because you didn't get the point. The point is for you to continue to keep learning and adapting and growing and changing and evolving.
Cultivate
Yeah,
an environment that you love to learn. Is that basically it?
Well,
yeah. So it doesn't have to be about like taxes and, all
yeah.
that. Like, but, like critical thinking.
Critical
Tangible life skills would be awesome, though.
The reason they don't have critical thinking though, even though that is basically school, right? Like
right.
the whole purpose of school is to learn critical thinking. So why don't they teach critical thinking? Why don't they require that in like sixth grade or something? And that's
Well,
because
I don't know.
school
Can you really have like a statistical test on that? And that's usually what schools teach for.
No, but there is critical thinking. The SAT is a critical thinking test. Everything you do in English class and history class and none of these like math or like specific science related classes, it's supposed to be critical thinking. The questions they ask you are supposed to be critical thinking inducing. They're supposed to teach you to go into that flow of the pattern.
But then I think a lot of people they don't go into that pattern. Like I
Right.
personally, the way I would do it, I would just look at the exercises, look at the example, see how the example did it, and the answer to the question was exactly the example.
Right.
And I would just copy that over.
Yeah.
I did a lot of times I didn't, unless it actually intrigued me and, like geometry was interesting and I liked looking at, I actually like going through the logical process, but
that's
most of the time you can avoid the logical process completely.
I don't think math and that type of thing is critical thinking because you're just copying from the example and just learning those kinds of processes. Critical thinking is more like what your interpretation of this excerpt was, or why did these kinds of people decide to do this kinds of things when this is this. So it's just how you express your opinion and how you express your
in that sense, like literature might actually be teaching more critical thinking skills than math.
Yeah. Well, that's what I think. I don't think math teaches you critical thinking. It just teaches you to quantify thinking. I don't think they're related, but they're not the same because it is copy paste.
Well, math does teach you like having a logical structure.
Right.
But then the way that the way that make it so easy is you're not really developing that logical structure. A lot of times, like, I don't know, I think they do a good job with schooling pretty much, except there's some certain emotional things that they don't teach, like, especially that's relevant nowadays, like emotional self-management. And I think they're starting to teach it now, though.
They should start teaching more emotional self-management because nobody teaches you to calm the fuck down. Like sit the fuck down, shut the fuck up, and let your mind go at ease. Nobody teaches you to do that, which is amazing that I had to learn from some random person on YouTube, fucking spirit science guy, would just be like, you should probably meditate. Like some random fucking figure on YouTube.
Different country and
yeah, like it's insane that nobody ever taught me this. But oh fuck, I forgot what the point was. I forgot what the point was gonna make. Oh no, one thing that we have to actually make clear is that I was with you through most of your education as well. In the classes we were in, let's just say they weren't the lowest classes. We were the highest we were the highest level of almost everything and almost every
Yeah,
level.
I always wondered, like, this is the highest?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like it it wasn't that hard. It wasn't hard. Like school for me wasn't hard. School for you definitely wasn't hard. You had a way easier, like way higher GPA than I did at all times.
Yeah,
And
and I was like, not even, I was playing games with you guys too.
yeah,
Like,
we were all
hours of games
yeah,
every
it was just
evening.
literally us four playing nonstop hours of games, going to highest level classes. Just the thing was is that we actually paid attention in class, so we didn't have to actually listen or read or do anything else outside. We just did everything in class, and that gave us so much free time to play games, and it was awesome. But we had the best teachers. We had the best of whatever they had to offer. We went through the best options. We didn't get that much busy work. I started noticing this, and now that I'm teaching as well, like you start noticing it. You give the dumb kids busy work. You give the smart kids critical thinking inducing stuff. Why? Because the dumb kids don't understand the critical thinking stuff and will have to be explained step by step what they need to do. And it's insane. Like, I don't get why people in our classes didn't understand it as fast as we did. I don't understand why so many people in our classes had so many dumbass questions. But that's just them, and that's where they're at, and that's how they see things. And a lot of kids can't do critical thinking because they've been given this A plus B equals C kind of attitude. And they always need to be fed A plus B. They
Yeah,
don't, yeah, go for it.
I don't think it's, I think it's dietary. A lot of kids,
Mm,
you know, they, you know, it's their
diet.
family environment. And because I don't think, I don't know though, people do have some inherent limitations, like due to that constant damage caused by their diet and maybe their environment and
Sure.
not having the challenge from a young age. I think video games helped a lot in terms of like mental stimulation.
Right.
Um, I think there is that might be the reason they ask so many dumb questions.
No, I think the reason they have so many damn questions is because they don't know how to come to the answers for themselves.
Yeah. They just didn't develop that attitude of
Y-
that's why I think video games is good because you know video
Yeah.
games teaches you to engage, immerse,
Yeah.
um, find out for yourself. You
Yeah.
know, it teaches you critical thinking in kind of an indirect way.
Yeah,
It
it
doesn't
does.
teach it to you in a didactic way, which is important too. Not important too, which is real because being able to identify the fallacies,
Yeah.
one specifically is pretty important. Um,
Yeah, seeing the problems and coming up with solutions yourself and dealing with those problems yourself is a very big skill that we're not really taught, especially in school. In school is a lot of this copy paste. And a lot of what I'm doing right now is trying to teach, well, the one high school student I have, I'm trying to teach him how to stop doing the copy paste writing and start including more of his own thoughts and ideas. And there's methodologies you can just go, there's easy ways and templates you can just start putting your ideas in there, but it's very hard for them to just come up with a logical explanation for it. Everything they've done is very copy paste. This is the answer. This is how we're supposed to get it. This is what we're supposed to say. That is that takes time to learn and adapt. I think video games is great because how many times have you had to play the same level? How many times have you lost? How many times have you done one thing and actually everything fucked up? Like so many times. And especially all these cool new puzzle games. I used to play tons of like adventure puzzle things, and they did help me think, and it's good on that. But anyways, diet. You talked about diet. I think diet is a very big thing because I remember I used to eat cereal every day in the morning, and I used to be fucking sleepy as shit when I got to class. Like the first period, I was always knocked the fuck out. And at the same time, I was on allergy medication through most of my schooling in the morning. So I was eating dairy, something I'm pretty allergic to, or we're all lactose intolerant. I was eating like Fruit Loops and Cinnamon Toast Crunch and all this high sugar shit with all these food colorings. And I was taking, what's it called? allergy medication because I had allergies. I wonder why. It couldn't have been the sugar in the milk. No, no, no. So that's how I was in school from like sixth grade to like 12th grade. I was like that. The only reason I stopped in college is because my parents stopped being in charge of me going to school and I can just do whatever the fuck I want. So yeah, dude, I remember I was so sleepy the first period all the time. Every first period I was so
Yeah,
sleepy.
same here. And then it would clear up after. I used to have PE early in the morning. After
Okay.
that, then it would clear up, and I would enter the zone. My mind would just like, that pleasurable reverie that you enter into like when you're in the zone.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Dude, yeah. That's in that's what's up. Autism. We're just bringing up topics here. I know Corey's over there and slightly in the corner, but yeah, I think diet is really important when it comes to learning and attitude. Like you were saying before, you like going to class, you like listening and learning, and I did too. I honestly did. I like going to class and learning. Why? Because I like finding shit out. I think information is interesting, and I think all knowledge is just interesting. Things that don't matter to me are like fashion or like some random bullshit gossip. I don't really care about that. But you
yeah,
teaching me about anything important, I'll listen. Go for it.
yeah. So I'm trying to like design my life more like, we can't go back to high school. High school is pretty structured, and it's nice that we have like one class, and then we pay attention, we learn, we do a little bit of thing towards the goal of that class. We have a break, and then we do our next class and that kind of thing. It's good to like structure your own personal time. Whether you're 20, 30, 50, or whatever, you could bring a little high school atmosphere to your own life too. I think we should, structure our time a little more. And, I'm not working towards a master's degree or anything, but, I think,
So you would
I,
suggest learning multiple subjects at once?
yeah, and like structure your time, even though you're not going towards a master's degree, we should self-learn ourselves. And
Oh, yeah, I mean, I don't disagree with that, but I still think someone can learn one thing at a time if they choose. Like, be patient with their learning. They don't necessarily have to be like super
It depends though.
dream.
yeah, but the thing with learning one thing at a time, like most people don't want to learn just one thing at a time. Usually you want to learn a lot of things at one time. And the thing is, like, you don't gotta. No, I actually, well, there's pros and cons. Like learning one thing at a time. The pro of that is that you enter that deep zone because it takes you actually several hours, like 2 hours supposedly, just to get deep into the subject, into something called deep work. There's some good TED Talks on that.
Cal Newport.
Maybe,
There's a book called Deep Work.
yeah. Yeah, I've been kind of conflicted with that because I have so many things I want to work on, but like I should probably prioritize them, and so I can get
You
into the
just can't
deep work.
multitask. It's like a known fact. So is it better to try to, but it's also better not to be like generalized in a lot. Like, do you want to be a specialist and know a whole lot of one thing, or do you want to know a
A little
lot of
about a lot.
a little about a lot of things?
Yeah.
Well, it's not just about knowing; it's about like working on certain things about yourself. Like,
Fair
uh,
enough. I guess that's it's like introspective work and things along those lines.
yeah, there's so many subjects within our inner universe to work on. You
Oh,
know,
for sure.
like just holotropic breathing. That would be cool to practice every day for like 20, 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Probably get somewhere with that. You
I
know,
mean,
that
yeah, go.
it's not really something you can deep work with. I think that's what some of these things are like. Some of these subjects you got to make them like. Some of them require deep work. Some of them don't require deep work.
Mm.
I'm just thinking out loud. Yeah, but
Well, I think at the end of the day, like most of what matters most is like the compound effect of staying consistent with whatever you're trying to learn or doing.
Yeah, well, the separate
yeah,
things you're learning can also just be made into a pyramid of whatever the hell you're trying to be. Like you can be training 3 hours a day, learning tactics another hour or two a day, and then going off to meditate another hour.
I get it, but it's just structure. Like, say even even if you only allotted 5 minutes a day of your day to fucking learn it, a day. That's more than doing nothing. You know what I mean? Like, and building upon that, that's going to add up. Because even that's 35 minutes a week. Even if you just count that 5 minutes a day, you know what I mean? Like,
That's
you're
good.
going to be doing better than somebody who's doing absolutely nothing. So instead of like trying to make it seem like it's overwhelming for some people, just keep it simple to the same extent. You know, that's all.
Yeah, that's a really important thing, you know, like for people that aren't as, you know, that are on the fence with some other things, like try just like a couple minutes. Like
Mm.
the 5 minutes that you would spend on, usually it's like half an hour on social media or whatever, or longer, but try spending just a couple minutes, like inch your foot into whatever activity it is. Just start like
Mm-hmm.
looking at whatever it is that.
Like, think even look at the sun gazing. He didn't tell us to do a shitload of minutes. Like, right? Remember, like you're supposed to do a certain
10
amount of
seconds.
seconds first, you know, and then you build on that daily.
Yeah.
Like, think about baby steps.
Yeah.
The thing I think about human nature can be flawed in the sense that we want to like rush obtaining something,
Right.
like, or get to the end result of something, as opposed to falling in love with the process. And again, we're talking about how much we love learning, which is the beauty of that. The beauty of, we found that we like, there's certain things we like to learn, and we'll never stop doing that. Like when you gave me shit the other day in my DMs for like, I thought you were gonna stop reading for a little while. I just like reading. You're like, you're addicted, and I was like, I mean, like, there's words I'm addicted to, you know, like,
I mean, yeah, man.
bad like things. I mean, I've been addicted to fucking heroin. Like, I think that there was way worse things coming from that than it was. Like,
I
my
think that's worse than reading for sure. I think that can be an easy meme to support. Heroin is worse than reading. Heroin addiction is worse than reading addiction. I mean,
I definitely lean towards the side of healthy addictions these days.
well, yeah. I mean, you can the patterns you do can make you or break you. So
Oh yeah, Atomic Habits, man. Everyone should read that book if you want
That
to.
book is gold. Yeah,
It's a good book.
I would pay $1 million for that book.
no, you wouldn't. You probably downloaded it for free out there.
I did, and I didn't even read it. I read the summary, the free summary. But I know the point is I would pay. You know, I just said I am. I'm just saying that that book has a very, you know, practical neurological concept of.
Do you subscribe to James Clear's newsletter, man? He's pretty awesome.
Who is it?
James Clear.
James Clear.
He's the author of Atomic Habits.
Oh, okay. I didn't really.
He has a really cool newsletter that comes.
Is there really more to find out from him? Like just that concept, that ideology alone, I thought that was it. That's the gold, and I just kind of ran off.
No, it's pretty awesome. Like, he does 3, 2, 1. So it's like three quotes, or 3 ideas from me, 2 quotes from somebody else, and 1 question per week.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, there we go. 3 short ideas from me, 2 quotes from others, and 1 question to ponder during the week.
Awesome. Yeah, that's great. Tim Ferriss is on Fridays, so he's on Thursdays.
Yeah, it's pretty good stuff. Like, it's definitely one of my favorite newsletters I'm subscribed to at the moment.
I need to start unsubscribing from all this bullshit because I get way too many emails for nothing.
Like friends. Yeah, and stop unsubscribing.
You don't follow? Do you follow him on Instagram?
Yeah, I just followed him right now.
Yeah, it's definitely one of the ones I repost often. Today, Sundays. So anybody who's listening to this, one of the things I implemented in my life is a social media fast on Sundays. So I stay off of social media.
Yeah, when you're texting me on just regular phone shit, I was like, who's doing this?
Yep.
How do you do that?
No social media on Sunday.
But how do you exactly implement that? You just like, if you get a message on your notification, you just.
I don't have notifications on I don't have it going off. The only notifications I ever have are my text messages and other ones. Like, none of my apps, social media apps, give me notifications. I turn that shit all off.
It's true. I need to do that because I fucking can't take that red dot.
I don't need the little dopamine hit, man. Like, it's a little drug hit.
Yeah.
Then do you think that's better, or do you think learning to control yourself is better? Because there's going to be all sorts of like triggers like throughout your whole life.
Right, but if you
don't learn to like.
But if you can avoid that, if I can mitigate that, I guess it all depends about context of the person. do you know enough about yourself that's going to limit that behavior, or are you going to do what you need to do to limit that behavior?
I see. Yeah. Like, and then there's also the idea. I think you
Adapting.
mentioned
I'm still
Atomic Habits.
adapting to what I know best about how I work best. So I'll set a limit for the amount of time I'm going to allot myself on Instagram, for one. Two, I'm also going to turn notifications off so I don't need to get things at all times. I don't feel like people need 100% access to me at all times.
That's very true. Yeah.
Bro,
Knowing yourself.
you knock out every 3 hours, bro.
And I'm entitled to my naps, and that's
Yeah, you can do whatever you want. I'm just saying, like, people
fucking
still don't have full access to you because you
grown ass.
knock out every 3 hours.
I'm a grown ass man. I do my thing. I pay my rent. I pay my bills. So if I want to sleep, this is how I get my success in my life.
Yeah, that's a really important idea that Rico and I think, have an issue with, of like, knowing yourself and doing the thing. Like, don't think you're like Goku or Vegeta. You can just use willpower to power through everything all the time. Just make it easier for yourself to like actually get what you need to be done by, taking away those willpower sapping notifications and triggers.
Right. Well, it's just like setting. I'm just trying to do my best to set myself up for success in any way possible. Since I know certain things about myself, why not? Why don't I go ahead and make it so I don't have to make it even harder on myself? Like there's already little things that tend to be difficult on me at times that probably shouldn't. And one will be my overthinking to most of the things on the planet. Like, so I know that about myself, so I don't need to add any more to it than necessary. You know what I mean? Than unnecessary.
Yeah, I mean, you're just changing your environment. You're just setting up your environment to promote or dissuade certain things and certain triggers.
Right. Well, if you know your shadow aspects of yourself and yourself at your quote unquote worst in a setting, then why not like mitigate you from having that even occur? You're like, yo, I already know this about myself. Cool. Well, I'm going to go do it this. I'm going to do it this way because I'm doing it this way and it doesn't allow this type of stuff over here to happen.
Mhm.
And that's totally cool because that gets in the way of my quote unquote success. And there's a couple habits that I'm in the process of either mitigating and or like ousting for a little bit to see if that helps perpetuate further success in other areas.
Yeah.
But it's like I've always equated my life personally to like I am my own guinea pig. I am my own science project. I try things out on myself before I either recommend them or showcase them to others, what have you, or promote them to others.
Well, yeah, you're right. I only recommend shit that I have personally tried myself.
Right. Am I going to teach something I don't know that I've never done on my own? Like, no, I don't know where I'm leading you. I'll be leading you down a fucking path that I don't know to what the end result is of that said path.
The blind leading the blind.
Yeah. Like it's that, I don't know. That doesn't make sense to me, but it makes a lot of people dollars. Some people take people down paths that they don't know where the end result is.
Yeah. I think this is where a lot of what's it called? The whole training and mentor and guide, like mentoring and coaching kind of idea is like there's too many people that are coaches that don't have enough life experiences to be coaches. And I'm not saying I don't want to be a quote unquote coach either, but I don't know. I just don't have this thing where I can charge people to tell them.
I'll say it took me a decade before I even decided to like take something that I liked as a hobby for myself and try to use it as a business to teach to other people.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, and it took me traveling to other countries and it took me living in another country and it took me, you know what I mean, down various different job environments and also sectors, whether it's like the sales sector, whether it's the teaching sector, whether it's the municipality sector working with kids in recreation programs. All those sectors. And then it's also the construction, the white collar fucking or blue collar going heavy ass machinery fucking, you know what I mean? Like working in unionized construction. Like I've been through it all and I still I saw a lack of something and something I still love. So if I could make something off of something that I love to teach it to other people and have a passion for, and they pay me and they're willing to pay me what I charge. You know what I mean? That's like crazy. You can create whatever you want as long as you believe in it enough and you work hard enough towards it. Granted, I've had more days where I was broke than I had money, you know, but having a shitload of money to me isn't my definition of success.
Dude, she
It's all the
honestly,
meaning.
she barks like every 8 minutes. It's like a clock.
It's
Now
pure
that,
rhythm of barking.
yeah, she has a barking schedule. Said at random times, but I I know we're having a conversation about habits and stuff, but you keep popping up this autism like thing that just keeps throwing me off. You keep popping up an autism article or something like
You take this deal, okay?
that.
Sorry about that.
If you haven't watched that video, it's just this woman going, the deal would be like her parents dying and getting Trump out of office, and she says, yeah, it's a good deal.
Oh,
So
really? Okay, I want to watch that. Is this interesting?
really? Okay.
What did she say?
I'm gonna put a pause on the recording. We'll be right back.
Take us now.
And boom. Yeah, that girl basically just said, I think it's James Klug, one of his videos. And
Hey,
she
she
said,
sacrificed her own sister.
and father. And father. So yeah, she's sacrificing her own family, and the coronavirus gets
Donald
extended.
Trump to get out of office.
And 5 times the amount of people that have died will die. More will die. And yeah, just so he can kick Trump out of office. That's pretty hardcore. It's pretty hardcore. Hey, one random thing about that. I know when Trump got sick, there's a lot of people saying that he should die or something. I hope you die or something like that. If they had said that about Obama, what would have been the sentiment? Wouldn't they just call that other person like super racist, bigot? You're going to like, it's just weird.
Heresy, treason.
Yeah, treasonous. Like, there were a lot of people and people with fucking power who were just literally, some of them were assaults. Some of them were verbal assaults. There's freedom of speech, but damn.
And I think we have freedom of speech now that Trump's been in office. I think we have we know what our First Amendment is stronger thanks to Trump.
It's true.
And even after he leaves office, I think we'll remember those times we can actually say what we wanted to say, and
yeah, the problem with, fuck, I hate calling them the left politics, but they're not very free speech loving. They're not very free idea loving. They're very my idea loving. And if your idea is not my idea, then your idea is stupid and no and yeah and like scream at you and oh my gosh, I'm angry, my feelings are hurt, and your words are offending me, so my feelings are hurt and I should attack you. Get out of here, bro. Get out of here. That's where I'm at with this nonsense. And this is why I'm voting Kanye 2020. No. Not voting Kanye for 20. I would not vote Kanye for president.
I voted Kanye. Fuck.
I would not vote Kanye for vice president.
I
don't think he's mentally stable.
I need Kim Kardashian need to be FLOTUS.
No, she would be VP V FLOTUS.
Well, the vice president, VP, V FLOTUS.
The fat kid. But yeah,
lady.
I would not vote for Kanye. I wouldn't. I don't think he'd do a good job, to be honest, as a politician. He's too young. Give him another 20 years, and maybe I'll respect him and his opinions more. He's like 50 now, almost. Damn. All these people are getting old.
is he not part of the deep state?
Kanye?
Yeah.
I don't think Kanye knows what he's part of.
He's Q all day. Q ain't on all day.
Oh, right.
I
We posted some of that stuff.
I don't know, man. I have my doubts on Kanye just because
I heard he's the leader of the deep state.
Kanye is the leader of the deep state.
He's the underlord, the overlord.
Kanye is not the leader of his house.
Oh,
No, he's not.
man, I can't get over this kid dancing right now.
Yeah, this kid has like completed the most intense obstacle course ever.
For him, for his chubby little.
This can honestly be a performance at this on a straight, bro. Like I can imagine like people lining up and watching him do it and like giving him money and stuff.
Oh, are these your partying days in Thailand? Was this what you were doing?
Hell yeah! This is how we bet money. We take a couple shots after, but before all this, and then we go through an obstacle course and all these like Thai obstacle course somehow.
Look at that.
Yeah, man, this kid.
He's like a Winnie the Pooh, you know. It's like
Are you saying he's like the Chinese Prime Minister Xi Jinping?
Let's go. Here he goes. All right, you got this. You got this.
I don't know what it is.
What is that? Oh, what the hell? That's so random. It's just, why are the testicles just chilling there? Like, why would he keep those?
Yeah, deer test. I mean, you shot down a deer, and it's funny how it's like the rear part of the deer instead of the front part of the deer.
Because it's the bathroom, obviously.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah,
The bathroom. Yeah, we're just going through random videos. I think we should probably end it because I think our attention span is going up. How do we encapsulate and encompass, tie everything together? What do we tell the people? The 4 or 5 listeners and our 2 CIA listeners. What do we tell them? How do we to the CIA
Vote Kanye. Vote Kanye. Pick better habits.
listeners?
Yeah, and CIA listeners, you gotta use some critical thinking, you know, because
Honestly, I think you should vote Kanye over Democrats all day. So
Cut
yeah,
off all your insurance and go to doctors who don't take insurance.
damn, I think that's too much of a claim right there. Do whatever you want to do.
It's question your doctors more.
Yeah, question your doctors, question your diet, question your mind,
Question the narrative.
question all narratives.
I question Rico every day.
I question myself every day, and I write those questions down and put them online because I see someone answers them in the right way because I can't.
question myself when I wake up in the morning, who am I?
Rico's been having all those dotted lines in his stories lately.
I've always had dotted lines. Those are always. I always like to care. I put those dotted lines because they're pauses in my speech. That's how I would speak naturally. I would do dramatic pauses. So that's what the dotted lines mean. They're dramatic pauses. Yeah. So yeah, do whatever you want. Freedom is a way. Let's do more research. I'm still researching these propositions, and we'll talk about these probably in a later episode. We're reaching 2 hours over here with this one, so I think we're running out of steam. So stay safe, everybody. This election is gonna be fucking crazy. Get a water filter.
Stay safe. That would entail there's danger. There's no danger. Just be safe.
I got my seeds ready. Just in case.
Oh, nice. That's that
Got
big
my seeds
packet.
ready.
He's about to drop. He's about to fucking ooh.
About to get all kinds of
All
great.
those are really complicated to grow. Like, you have to, some of them are you need to pollinate them.
Right. That sounds hard, but I have seeds just in case.
You just have to grow multiple of them next to each other and stuff.
We should start. We
Oh,
should start a
future.
little mini bee farm too. We're gonna need that, for pollination.
Hey, I wouldn't mind starting a bee farm, to be honest. That would actually be pretty smart.
Yeah, I learned today that if you are allergic to something, then if you eat the honey of that plant, and since honey has the enzymes and different probiotics, then you become not allergic to it anymore.
Wow.
Right. Well, isn't that usually how that happens? Is like a little exposure, slow exposure.
Exposure, get your body used to it, yeah.
Well, not just exposure to it. It's just you're eating the probiotic version of that, so the honey. Like after you eat the honey of the.
Well, I guess it has to do with the microbiome of it, then, huh?
Exactly. Yeah.
Interesting. I think we should make all kinds of honey liquor and get wasted on honey all day.
Isn't that what mead is?
Yes. Let's go back to the mead ages.
Gotta have some mead, some real mead.
Yeah, let's get some. Let's make some mead farms. That's what I want.
I just got drunk off mead.
Mead farms. That'd be dope.
All right. Well, we're getting away from closing out this.
Oh yeah, we are. We're going back into topics. So have a good one, everybody. Yeah, join us next time. We'll talk about all kinds of stuff. Remember, meditate. Don't over medicate. Eat right. Think right. Feel right. You'll be all right.
And you don't even have to listen to anything you just said.
Yeah, you can do whatever the fuck you want. You can eat all the shitty food and do whatever the fuck. Like, that's all freedom. Freedom for everybody. This is America. Peace.
It's all learning.